welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Bobby. And Bobby wants me to play Dreadnought in a shell of my own concoction, but I'm not allowed to play white cards. Azorius is the basic shell for Dreadnought right now. You get Swords of Plowshares, you get Doorkeeper Thrall, Prismatic Ending. You could expand that out to Esper if you like, still blue-white at the base. And Bobby wanted me to explore something different. And there is a small trophy bounty on this league, little incentive to do well. And here I am living the old Legacy meme. I brewed a deck and it's Delver. The way I got to just basically stock Delver with Dreadnought tucked into it is I was thinking about the old bug builds with Lazav or Varels, which are pretty cool. And then I thought about Uro and some of the old rug builds that went all the way up into Minsk and Boo. They could throw the Dreadnought. I've done that on the channel in the past. And then I was trying to balance the control hostility in the metagame. Like a control deck just can't really beat Eldrazi. It's tough with Oops All Spells being a top deck in the meta as well. How am I justifying all these main deck dress downs? And then I started trimming the deck down, making it more efficient. And at some point it was so close to being Delver that I thought, what if it's literally Delver? Delver of Secrets, historically a card that has been paired alongside Stifle. This is just something that Rug Delver decks did for a decade or more, regardless of other synergies in your deck. Dragon's Rage Channeler, just a high power card your opponent has to react to quickly. There's plenty of things that will flush out removal from this deck and flush out interaction. That could help clear the way for a Dreadnought. Dreadnought is an artifact, and Dress Down is an enchantment, both of which are types that benefit Dragon's Rage Channeler. You're playing a bunch of free permission anyway. You have Burn to finish it off. Stifle benefits well alongside Wasteland and Daze. These three cards go together like peanut butter and chocolate. Murktide Regent like spells in the graveyard, and Questing Druid, why not? Another big O pivot, a reload. Dreadnought is efficient enough that if you flip it off of a Druid, there's a good chance you can use it. I won't pretend this is particularly inspired or unique, but it is a combination of two established things that I haven't seen together in this metagame, and I'm going to try it now. This is Bobby's non-white Dreadnought Trophy Challenge. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. I'm on the play in round 1. My opponent's username is JustRoll. Suspicious. We have a Bosh disrespecter here, but they still enjoy rolling. I'm not sure how to feel about this. I'm keeping this Stifle hand on the play. Love those. Looking for that cheese game. Opponent went to 6. Volcanic Island pass. I'm not worried about Wasteland because I could Stifle a Wasteland as well. And either way, they're down a land to my Stifle. Oh no. Bonk. Okay, got a little of that going on. Now it's time to find... Ooh. I was about to say it's time to find the next land, but I think I'd rather get a threat in. Now if they spend the turn wastelanding me again, they would A, have to have 2 wastelands in their mulligan hand, and B, they are under pressure and leaving themselves with no lands going to turn 3 facing down a threat. They're not that likely to have a second wasteland, and I don't know if it's strategically good to deploy it if they did, so I'll take the turn playing Delver. Alright, they fetched Basic Island on their own turn before we could Stifle it. That's fine. Delver flip, revealing Ponder. I almost never spend brainstorms in Legacy to flip my Delver. Brainstorm is just worth so much more than that as a card, and the era where we could cheese 20 damage across with our first 1-drop is long gone. I'm going to shuffle that. I'm actually just looking for lands here. Shuffled and Druid the same card anyway. Opponent now knows I'm weak on the land front. Underground Sea. Okay. Little Temur action. Fatal Push. Yep. And that's why you don't invest resources early to aggressively flip a Delver at the cost of a high-quality cantrip. Sick. Okay. I am going to wasteland them before I do anything else. They're B-storming. One of the most common mistakes I see from people who are just trying to learn Delver, I'm going to cast this Brainstorm while I'm talking, is they won't keep a hand that doesn't have like the perfect Delver Daze threat. I walked that into Daze on purpose. I was totally comfortable with that interaction. Setting them back a land when I had one ready anyway. Cool. Now I'm loaded up forever. Anyway, continuing my thoughts. One of the most common things is people see a hand like the one I had this game that was just like 4 cantrips, a wasteland, and another land. And they're like, nah, this just loses to combo, or I don't have a threat. And it's not that important. You don't need those things right away. Lightning Bolt the Tamiyo. And I think I'm going to wait and do the Surveil land. Another mistake people make is they go all in. They'll like Force of Will of turn 2 Fatal Push on their turn 1 Delver. And that's a 2-for-1 in a situation where it's not the first threat that wins the game, it's the last one. And spending all those cards is usually a mistake that early. Against like Eldrazi, it's a little different. Like Force of Willing their Kozilek's command on your Dragon's Rage Channeler on turn 1 is probably a good idea. But in a Tempo Mirror, where your both decks are full of Fatal Pushes and Lightning Bolts and Brazen Borrowers and whatever the heck, that first creature is just not going to win. Just accept that you're going to go back and forth a little bit, then move on with your life. I Brainstorm now while I get the extra juice on it. Stifle. Do I want Stifle anymore? I don't think I do. They have 2 lands already. That's enough to play the game. All right, well, I ended up with Stifle anyway. Put back Trop and Valk. I'll play out a Valk. This way, if I cast one of the spells this turn, I can mill away Valk and I don't lose my Trop forever. I'm in some trouble now, though. I've Screw beats Flood, and I'm looking at 6 lands here to their 2, and the 4 extra lands I have don't make up for the cards that are in their hand. Yikes. All right. I'm going to dress down here because I want to mill the Volcanic Island and draw the Tropical Island, and then have a chance at fresh draws next turn. Okay. I was kind of like Divination. I'll take it. All right, now they've parked a Wasteland in play, and I have my only green source in my hand, so I'm going to hold that back for a minute. Days, not great. Pass. My 3 cards in hand and 4 lands to their 3 cards in hand and 4 lands. We've suddenly evened it up, but if they have a threat, I'm in trouble. All right, Thoughtseize resolves. They'll probably take Stifle at this point, and if they have a Murktide or Nethergoyf in their hand at this point, it's pretty spooky. I'm in the market for Questing Druid. That's my favorite card. Murktide Regent, also very good. Brainstorm, okay. Frustrating because Orcish Bowmaster is a card they play. I think I will hold on to this Brainstorm and not just jam it off into a Bowmaster. I considered for a second playing out the Trop, and then if they waste it in my end step, I can Brainstorm in response, and then if they have Bowmaster, I could successfully daze it, picking up the Trop that they're targeting with Wasteland, but that's a very specific sequence of events. Nethergoyf after Nile spellbombing me, that makes a lot of my draws worse, but now they can't Bowmaster. Phyrexian Dreadnought. All right, can we turn it around here? We can, in a variety of ways. So I have Dreadnought Stifle with Daze Protection. If I put back Druid Trop, that's pretty good. All right, Trop Druid, Dreadnought Stifle. Okay, let's see if the big pivot can get the job done here. 2 Fatal Pushes have been used already. Disappointing. All right, yeah, that's really good. Okay, Dreadnought's back in my hand. They probably had between 2 and 4 answers to Dreadnought in their deck. And if they just have it there, it sucks, but at least we had that exciting moment. Okay, now they're just wasting me. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to seek the beast now because I know I have a land underneath. Okay, Tropical Island and Brazen Borrower. I can cast all the spells now. Even if they daze the Brazen Borrower, it's use it or lose it. Okay, Fetching Sewer, which is a good sequence if they have daze, just getting a little extra juice on their turkey here. Yeah, that was a really good sequence. Okay. And that's why they wastelanded me last turn. Sewer's back. And they kept the card on top, so whatever's in their hand was a card that was good enough to keep in this situation. I don't have a lot of answers to Nethergoyf, I'm going to be honest. Okay, well, I could send another Dreadnought down the pipe. I'm actually going to completely disregard daze and try to get my Questing Druid growing while we're hanging out here. Consign to memory. Like, I could have just consigned with Replicate to make this more solid. But if they have a removal spell, it doesn't matter. Okay, cool. I'm going to daze this Bowmaster to make my Questing Druid bigger. And now I have the biggest creature in play. And Lightning Bolt in my hand. We might be able to turn this around. They might even lose on the very next turn cycle. They binned Thoughtseize off the second Undercity Sewer, so they're drawing wild right now. Volcanic Island deployed. I'm going to hold on to this bolt. It might be useful going face. I don't care about any of the creatures at this exact moment. Just got to hope they don't rip an answer to a 12-12 right now. Yeah, the old no attacks pass. That's what we want. All right, I'm not going to win this game if I don't attack. Phyrexian Dreadnought, get in. They have to think about Lightning Bolt here. Being at 13, they can't just take this, deploy Brazen Borrower, and crack back. And I guess they could. That's the thought process here is this good enough? Would I attack if I didn't have Bolt? And to survive Bolt, they have to block with Nethergoyf. There's enough trample here to kill them through even a double block on Bowmaster plus Orc Army. It's either lose the Nethergoyf, which basically commits to losing the race, or hope I don't have Bolt here. I think they made the right choice, even though it's a bad one for them. Yeah, I don't think there's a card they could have here. They can't force, they can't daze. I'm ahead of Spell Pierce. Oh yeah, the Dreadnought button. Who needs to answer Nethergoyf when you just have a creature that's more than twice as big? Nice. That actually felt awesome. Yeah, Braid is a generic removal spell. Ghost Vacuum's a little slow at controlling a Nethergoyf. I don't think I'm interested in that sort of thing. I'm pretty interested in Pyroblast. We've seen Tamiyo. We can assume that Murktide and maybe even Kaito are in the deck. I want to cut some Force of Wills. Probably 1 daze. Maybe 2 days on the draw. Is there any other cheese I'm interested here? Like Price of Progress, if they're not ready for it. Red has Reach and black doesn't. That's the decision when you decide what you're pairing with your blue tempo shell is, do you want disruption like Thoughtseize and stronger removal like Fatal Push, or do you want to go face sometimes? Consign to Memory is not good in the matchup. It is good with my Dreadnoughts, which are good in the matchup. Yeah, what does Consign even do? It hits a Bowmaster trigger or a Surveil trigger. This does almost nothing. It was the 5th Stifle that got my Dreadnought into play and won me game 1, though. Okay, I will leave Consign in. Because as we identified, I'm pretty soft to a Nethergoyf that's out of Bolt range. But having a bigger creature than my opponent solves that problem. I'm keeping my hand. I'm a little worried about turn 1 Tamiyo. But I boarded in a bunch of Pyroblasts. Alright, Nethergoyf. 1-2 Nethergoyf is in. Oh, Drew the Thundering Falls, that's really annoying, actually. I was going to fetch that this turn. I could brainstorm it away next turn. I could just play it right now. Alright, yeah, I'll just play it, whatever. Dump a Volcanic Island. If they wasteland me, then they're attacking me with a 1-2 Nethergoyf off Basic Swamp. I don't mind playing that turn cycle. Basic lands. On lock. Nethergoyf. Isle Spellbomb. So the Goyfs can become 2-3 at will here. They're still in bolt range right this moment. Questing Druid. Alright. I'm going to brainstorm. There's my basic. I don't think I care about that. Put back basic and Flooded Strand. Or I could just put back 2 fetches and take less overall damage. No, I just don't care about the basic. It's fine. Pass the turn. Now my goal is to sneak this Murktide region in before they use this Nile Spellbomb. They might just push the Spellbomb right now for the extra damage. Bowmaster is really good. I guess I'm brainstorming again now. I have 3 of these in my hand and graveyard. Wasteland, 2 Delvers. Okay. Dreadnought's a long way off. I'm not going to Wasteland them. I want lands. All right, I'm going to put Wasteland back, draw the fetch. And I'm at Murktide critical mass, so they should Nile Spellbomb me here. And Spellbomb they shall. This makes the Goyfs twice as big and cuts off my Murktide plan. But now I have a double Delver plan that wasn't there a moment ago. I have to redraw a fetch land. I'll be at 13 when that happens. Fetch to 12. Take at least 5 in combat. I'm playing from 7 life. But again, this deck doesn't have Lightning Bolt in it. Orcish Bowmaster is the reach that they have. Delver. Here's the squad. If Bowmaster attacks, I will trade a Delver for it, but I don't think it will. Unless they have more of them. Ponder makes the Goyfs even bigger. Maybe I should have my Ghost Vacuum in. Alright. Bad news, team. It's become very bad for me. Very quickly here. And Thoughtseize. This is going to take Questing Druid. This is the flip side of Dreadnought. This card's been in my hand the entire game. Oh wow, they took it. They were scared. I was about to say this card's been in my hand the entire game with no chance to ever activate it or deploy it. And my top card right now is Wasteland, so I'm fetching to 4. I don't have very many outs here. I'll get the Trop, unlock it. Delver, trigger, Dragon's Rage Channeler. I do not reveal that. It's embarrassing. And draw. 4 life, huh? Okay, I will seek a beast. And I'm not going to play the beast this turn. All right, I can play double DRC and then die. All right. That was a lot of heat that I couldn't keep up with. Yeah, I think Ghost Vacuum, just cherry picking the 1 sorcery, the 1 artifact is worth having. That would have saved me a lot of damage, and Consign to Memory is probably out. Consign to Memory can counter Nile Spellbomb. That is a use for it that I didn't mention. On the play, I think I want more Dazes in over more Forces. This is too many Pyroblasts when all their threats are black. They just didn't have Temur or Murktide that game and happened to play a lot of black cards. That is a weakness of Pyroblast versus this deck, but I still think it's right to have them mostly in. I could get my Consign back if I only play 2 of these. Okay. I'll do that. No lander. Gotta ship it. Here we go. I'll keep this, and I think I'm putting Thundering Falls to the bottom. I could bottom Wasteland. They'll probably play on basics if they can. Yeah, I'm actually going to bottom Wasteland. And I am just going to play out the Falls, even though this tells them I don't have Stifle. Or it tells them I don't have another land. Daze is good on the play. I'll keep that. Loaded Strand. They'll fetch in the main phase regardless. Alright, just no respect for Wasteland. Maybe they can't respect Wasteland, and I got tricked by my own sequencing. Do not shuffle Ponder. Okay, Questing Druid. Until your next end step, you may play those cards. So if I Questing Druid in my own end step, I will have access to those cards through my next turn. And it would be protected by Daze right now, where that would not be true in the future. Okay, I'm going to fetch for another Volk, and I'm going to seek the beast in my own end step. This means counter spells that I flip here are alive. It's Brainstorm Delver. All right, those are both cards I can use. 2 Underground Seas. Daze this Bowmaster. Gotta do it. Cool. All right, survived that sequence. And now I get a full value Questing Druid. Brainstorm. Use it or lose it. I will choose to use it. Island Ponder. Island Ponder stack on top. New catchphrase emerges. I don't want to show them the Stifle. I don't care if they know I have a Ponder, but them knowing I have a Stifle could completely change how they play. But Babero Goyf. I can make that a 0-1 with Dress Down. Delver, trigger. Reveal the Ponder, draw a card. Scalding Tarn. I'm going to play another Delver, and I'm going to pass. This does open up Daze in a way I don't love, but I think having the Delver in makes more sense. The no attack should be a little suspicious. And unfortunately, I need to let them get into combat or else they just won't attack. And I'm not going to block until my dress down resolves. Brazen Borrower would be a blowout here. Okay, dress down. If they bounce dress down after blocks, I'm just in the garbage. Big time. Okay, dress down resolved. I'm going to block with just the smaller Delver. Okay, so if they have Fatal Push, I need to double block. If they have Brazen Borrower, I need a single block. All right, I'm going to play around the 4 of rather than the 1 of. Okay, cool. We got away with all of it. That's lucky. Brainstorm. Tamiyo. 0-3 with no abilities. Who I can Pyroblast. And they've already drawn 3 cards this turn. All right, Delver Trigger. Phyrexian Dreadnought. I will not reveal that. Ponder. Stifle Wasteland, another Dreadnought. Okay, I will put Wasteland in my hand and play it. And I'm going to attack with my Delver. If they fetch in the end step, I'll Pyroblast Tamiyo in response. They'll probably get the Surveil land, so I'll actually let this fully resolve and let them Surveil and then Pyroblast. All right, destroy target permanent if it's blue. And I'm going to keep the Wasteland because this Phyrexian Dreadnought is something I'd like to cast and not get dazed if possible. All right, they're on that Wasteland life. If they have another Barrowgoyf here, I'm cooked. All right, that one's not so bad. Fatal Push, disappointing, but it is a creature that's not Phyrexian Dreadnought. And now they're spellbombing me. I am going to go for Dreadnought here. They have not indicated to me that they have a daze at any point in this game. I will reveal this Stifle. I'm going to attack first. Do I want to Ponder? I don't think I do. All right, Dreadnought. Stifle. We're in. Opponent's at exactly 12. The third Wasteland revealed. Oh, 4 mana. What the hell is this? Oh, it's just hardcast Kaito. They can lock down Dreadnought and then Kaito dies. Deal. All right, so that's stunned for 2 turns. Delver kills Kaito. And I have another Dreadnought that I can send. Okay, attack Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. Well, you couldn't stop this last turn. Has anything changed? The Stifle that's been in my hand since the keep. The opening keep. Alrighty. Here we go. They need a sweeper. Even Barrowgoyf's not good enough anymore. We got the GGs. Okay. The Phyrexian Dreadnoughts were materially relevant. It wasn't just like we played a tempo mirror and I had some goofy cards around. The 2 games I won were because I had 12/12s in play. That was sweet. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in round 2 versus Magic Dads, who I queue into quite a bit and has always been on Combo Reanimator. And I have double force, double blue card here. Unfortunately, my second blue card is my Dreadnought Enabler, but I hope to find more of those. Badlands, Faithless Looting. If you would counter Entomb, you should counter Faithless Looting. I'm going to pitch the Daze first, because I would like to turn the corner on Consign if I draw any other blue card in my deck. Flooded Strand gets the Surveil. Lotus Petal. Thoughtseize. Well, okay. I should have checked who that's targeting, but it is me. I took Consign to memory. Oh, you're unmasking yourself now. I'm cooked. Unmask, pitching Shallow Grave. We're probably going to see a hand of Reanimate and some monster. Yep, Reanimate plus Archon. Okay, Reanimate resolves, and I am on a 1-outer. My Brazen Borrower is what I need here. Thundering Falls, have a peek. Don't need Volcanic Island. And Archon Trigger, I guess I am not going to be using this Dreadnought ever. Is the land worse than Dreadnought? Alright, I'll dump a land first, give myself a chance to run a runner here. If I draw Brazen Borrower into Stifle, that's a world I can live in. Okay, Tropical Island. Do I want the trop? No, I think double red's more important. The Fun Outer. Let's go. Now Stifle. Now Stifle. Play to all the outs. That Archon's not gone. If this was Swords to Plowshares, I'd feel a lot better, but there is a looting in the graveyard. Stifle, 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 Stifle. Oh my god. We're doing it, team. I have Force Blue card here, at minimum. And at maximum, I have Phyrexian Dreadnought. Ugh. I think I'm actually going to let this happen against medical advice. Grizzlebrand Archon into the bin. Lotus Petal. Shallow Grave. All right, well, okay, so Shallow Grave, at the beginning of the next end step, exile it. Active player, non-active player, triggers go on the stack. So Dress Down would die before Grizzlebrand would be exiled, so I do actually have to force this. If I could just knock the haste off it and it doesn't draw any cards and it goes away, then that's great. They're at exactly 12. Come on, deck, you have the chance to do the funniest thing. All right, Ponder. Dreadnought, Brainstorm, another land. I do like another land here. Okay, opponent knows what's in my hand. I just need to fade until this Brazen Borrower can kill them. I don't feel great about my chances, but there are a lot of bad draws in their deck right now. There's also a lot of good draws. All right, stripping my Dreadnought is fine. I got another one floating on top of my deck. Okay, pass the turn. Brazen Borrower is the plan. It didn't play any cards. Brazen B. Shallow Grave, if they think somehow blocking is better than attacking, which seems wrong. Like, that's a thing that could happen here, but I don't think it's going to. I'm going to brainstorm using my green land. Oh, what's up? These are cards I like. Put back Misty and Dreadnought. Play Dragon's Rage Channeler. Lethal's on board. Well, not on board. I have Lethal with the Bolt. They can't reanimate anymore. Dark Ritual. Uh-oh. Just hardcast Unmask on me? Please. Please, please. Alright, flashing back Faithless Looting. 1 mana floating. Discarding Atraxa Swamp. Cabal Therapy targeting me. How about I bolt you on the way out? Oh, that one outer Brazen Borrower. Okay. Making it to the sideboard, up a game, always feels good. Versus a Reanimator. Big old package of Graveyard Hate coming in. 2 cages, a Vacuum, a Surgical, a bonus force. Consign stops Animate Dead. Doesn't do anything else. Like, it attracts a trigger if Shallow Grave is the thing, but it doesn't stop Grizzlebrand. I think Consign is actively bad. I also don't think I should be Dreadnoughting here. I just can't afford cards that are situationally useless. Like, I won game 1 in spite of myself due to a hot rip and the Delver half of the deck while Dreadnought rotted in my hand. Consign and 2 bolts come out. Dress Down has interaction versus Shallow Grave and any Atraxa. Stifle, Reasonable, Spell Pierce, great. Force, Graveyard Hate, threats. That's all that's left in the deck from here. Hydroblast can counter Faithless Looting if I think that's enough. I can turn Lightning Bolt into Hydroblast. I feel like I want some number of bolts, though. Maybe 1 Hydroblast, 1 bolt is a friendly split. I'm probably not going to wasteland this opponent. I could get another spell in here. You only really need 15 or 16 lands to play Delver if the game's not going to go long and you don't need to cast spells that cost more than 1 mana. You can board out the wastelands versus decks full of basics. You can board out the basic versus decks that aren't going to attack your mana. Yeah, I will put in the 2 Hydroblasts. They support force if nothing else, and spiking Faithless Looting 1-for-1 is pretty cracked. Okay, this is the do I get a turn hand. I'm going to keep. I'm not going to mulligan a protected Grafdigger's Cage. And if they spend this turn thought seizing, all right, unmask targeting me. Well, I'm probably losing my cage. And we'll see what the other 4 cards in their hand can do. Wow, took DRC. They're playing the control game. Or they're shoving a monster in right now where the counter spells will be blank from the rest of the game. Entomb, we know that resolves. Lotus Petal, Reanimate, last 2 cards in hand. Oh yeah. This is combo Reanimator, folks. This is not a hybrid deck. This is a real combo deck. Yeah, all right. That was the do I get a turn or not moment, and the answer is no. Opponent's at 4. Okay, so we lose a game on the draw that we would win 100% of the time on the play. That's fine. I'm still going to play the Cage. That cuts off most of what their deck does. I could still one out a Brazen Borrower, bounce this Grizzlebrand, and be right back in it. And if I play this game out long enough, we might see a sideboard show and tell plan or something that I need to know about. Ancient Tomb. Interesting. Cabal Therapy can take 2 cards, naming days. Yep, they're gone. Brazen Bar off the top. Not today. Hey, the Misty Rainforest is a Surveil land. Thoughtseize. Well, I'll Spell Pierce it. They either lose 2 life by tapping Ancient Tomb here, or they don't get to know my 1 mystery card. A fetch. Are we going to see Underground Sea on the pivot and affect my sideboard planning? We are. Okay. So maybe some number of Hydroblast should be in, or Pyroblast should be in as well. They drew 7, 10 life, 12 cards in hand. Lotus Petal. Unmasking me, pitching Reanimate. It's 2 lands. End step, get my Surveil. Show me that Brazen Borrower. Ponder is 3 looks at Brazen Borrower. I'm in. Discarding 2 lands. Ponder. Ponder. Bulk. Gotta shuffle this up. 1 more look at Brazen Borrower. Force of Will appears. I'm gonna let them play out their turn. They should just go to combat to hide information, but if they cast a spell here, anything's useful. Alright, we're just in combat. You got me. Okay. Play draw game. That's fine. Pyroblast is just a little extra versus the potential of show and tell. I could go 0 lightning bolts. That means my creature's got to do all the work. There's no shooting over top of a Grizzlebrand. I think that's okay. Just a little bit of respect for a potential sideboard plan that they've indicated the bones of, but we haven't actually seen. Okay, let's go. I don't think they're going to put themselves into double bolt range, even though Reanimate, Grizzlebrand are like big things. Okay, I'll keep my hand. Play versus draw, kids. Misty Rainforest, Volcanic Island, Ghost Vacuum is the plan. I could play DRC because I have 2 layers of protection. 3 layers, or 2.5. Yeah, I'm actually playing the DRC. This might be an F around and find out moment, but this is so much better if they do anything other than double disrupt me. And that's just a Verdant Catacombs deal. Drew the land, life is good. I'm actually going to fetch first, because if I Surveil to the top, I don't want to lose it if I Spell Pierce or Surgical this turn. Ghost Vacuum. Force of Negation can stay on top. Okay, I'm applying pressure and disrupting Delver Game. I didn't fetch. I have 2 bullets at a show and tell. I would probably Spell Pierce and Unmask or a Thoughtseize here. Alright, I wouldn't Spell Pierce Unmask anymore. They could just pay for it. Okay, we got a fetch. The blue mana revealed. Show and tell. What a surprise. Spell Pierce that, leave Force of Negation on top. I think if I Surgical their show and tells, that's really good for me, because then I only have to worry about the graveyard and I have double layers up to protect from that. I am going to Ponder. Stifle. Not really interested in that. Grafdigger's Cage, Dragon's Rage Channeler, land. That is the spread. Okay. If I'm willing to mill over Grafdigger's Cage, I can have Delirium right now. Okay. I'm going to take the second DRC. I'm going to play it. I'm going to extract their show and tells. It's technically better to do this in their draw step, but I want the damage. They did have one in hand. Gotcha. And a sneak attack to go with it. Okay. All that is handled. And there is a sneak attack, and there is access to red mana. Okay. I mean, if they full sneak and show juke me here, they'll have to Thoughtseize, tap Ancient Tomb, and fetch, facing down this damage. This is actually going to be tight. They might get it. Marsh Flats. Are they going to take the time to Thoughtseize me? Can they afford to? Can they afford not to? My hand being 2 forces means if I draw any blue card, I'm stable. Okay, they're waiting to do it all at once. Any blue card off the top deck. Well, that could be a lot of things. I'm going to attack with my creatures because I have to. They're at 7. Fetching to 6, so they're now dead on board, have to do what they're going to do this turn. I wonder if their only red source is this Raucous Theater. No, that can't be true, because they need a second red source, because they took the turn off. So they need to come up with a red source this turn, and Thoughtseize me. Okay, there's the red, and Sneak Attack is a 5-mana play, so they can't actually Thoughtseize me here. Okay, I will force a negation, exiling Force of Will. Bin, Stifle. Alright, they've had enough. Cool. There we go. Just play versus draw after a miracle game 1. Like, they're really supposed to win game 1, and if I didn't rip my 1-outer, we would have just probably lost game 3 being on the draw. But breaking serve, taking that game 1, so clutch. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw for round 3. I will keep this hand. Got the old Delver Daze situation. Scalding Tarn from the opponent. I don't love having one of my 2 Dreadnoughts in the opening hand, but I do like that I have 6 top decks that can turn the corner quickly. My deck doesn't play Mishra's Bauble, which means that most of the time I'm probably going to leave on Delver between the choice of Delver and DRC. Yeah, Wasteland. I picked up another Volk this turn. That's not a huge deal. Is this shaping up for a Delver Mirror? All right, Scalding Tarn, don't reveal that. I'm going to attack for 1 and then play another Channeler off of the Volcanic Island. Channeler, get in, save my fetch land for Brainstorm, for Delver, a bunch of reasons not to run the fetch land out there. Okay, not a Mirror. A Wasteland deck with Tundra in it. This could be Dreadnought. It could be some sort of Jeskai Stoneblade or Esper Stoneblade situation. Fetching basic island and a Ponder. Okay. I'm very likely to Wasteland them this turn. Did not shuffle Ponder. We've got a Force of Will. I'll reveal that. Waste ya, attack. Okay, Force and Daze versus an opponent who has basic island for mana, and they're getting cracked with a Delver. Brainstorm's fine. Really wish I had a Stifle right now. And there's a fun sub-game where we're both down 2 lands because we've each wastelanded each other, and they've seen Force of Will. So do they still play around Daze now that they've seen Force? And the best part of the sub-game is I actually have the Daze. Another Delver. Keep these beats coming. Probably going to fetch Thundering Falls, try to get this other Delver move in. Another basic land from the opponent. All right, if they are Dreadnought, I could get stifled here. Okay. Well, that's information we have. This is Dreadnought. Blooded Strand, attack you for... I can Daze a Doorkeeper Thrall, so I am going to attack here, even though I have a 1-1. And, or, even better, I could let Doorkeeper Thrall eat my Delver and then just play Dreadnought. Top 10 anime betrayals incoming. Oh no, a basic blades. Oh no! What will I do? A Delver dies. This might be one of the funniest moments in memory on the channel. We got a well-natured ha 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 get out of here in the chat. I know. Isn't it awesome? What a moment. Oh, the beats will continue. Have to force this. I've got the Daze. 1 card left in hand. And I'm still holding Force blue card. Wowee. This suddenly got really interesting. I will force the Swords to Plowshares. I'm pushing hard. You doorkeep me, I doorkeep you. Okay, Braid's definitely coming in. Pyroblast, counters, dress downs, stifles. There's a bunch of hits for that. I'm not very good at killing Phyrexian Dreadnought. Consigned to memory counters Phyrexian Dreadnought straight up. Yeah, the Dazes are interesting because my opponent has a bunch of basics. They showed me that. But if the game gets scrappy, this card's really good. All right, I don't think I want Dazes nor all my Force of Wills. And I'm mostly just going to be Delver versus them. But if they ever hang out a Doorkeeper Thrall or a Dress Down, that's something that they have to be concerned about. I'm leaving in my Dreadnoughts. Okay, hand looks dope. Keeping. I can do the tick for tack land destruction game. I can counter a Dreadnought. I can apply pressure. I could kill a Dreadnought or a different creature. I'm not going to lose to a single Wasteland or Stifle. I've got a bunch of lands. Opponent went to 6. Opponent's got a Flooded Strand. They don't seem to be playing around Stifle, which I like. I'm going to hold up the DRC and use this Stifle if I can get a shot at it. Okay. They know I'm a Dreadnought deck, but I didn't Stifle them game 1. Now we're Delvering. They said they completely botched this, and GG must not have another land, and now they're just in the garbage. The turn 1 win with Dreadnought after getting someone with their own Doorkeeper Thrall. This was a match for the ages. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play for round 4. I have a phenomenal Delver hand, and I can enable a Dreadnought if I find one. Let's just start channeling some Rage of a Dragon. Flooded Strand. Basic Island is not going to be a removal spell. Tamiyo, I'll bolt that. Don't need to point Daze where it's not needed. Another Daze. Unfortunately, because of the possibility my opponent plays Daze, I have to play my land first. Alright, I'm going to bin Daze number 3, which should tell them a little bit of extra information that I already have one of those. Okay, that's cleared. I don't have a Thundering Falls to fetch because it's in my stupid hand. Curie, oh my goodness. What are we doing around here? Phyrexian Dreadnought, just living the best life possible for everyone. I will take a Brainstorm. Okay, that's out of here. It's a good time to be a Dreadnought, apparently. Okay, Brainstorm. I am going to fire this. See what we got. Force of Will. Yeah, I'll keep that. Put back Thundering Falls and Scalding Tarn. Yeah, this leaves me with Force Blue card and Daze and a lot of pressure. I'm doing this pre-combat because if they want to fight over it, I'd like the Surveil. Okay, Daze. Daze. The days of our days. I don't think I want a Wasteland right now. Okay, here we go. Nasty little down and dirty tempo match. It's turn 3 for both players, and we both have 1 land in play. It's just good magic. I don't really want to play against Tamiyo, but I also don't want to force it. That's frustrating. All right. Yeah, I will force this, even though I'm not happy about it. Yeah, I'll keep that. I'll keep Brainstorm. I was hoping for some Surveil value here, but just found a good card on top of my deck instead. Ponder from the op. Ponder shuffled. I don't think I should play around Daze with this Brainstorm because I'd love to put a land back. All right, bin Island. Bin Misty Rainforest. Dragon's Rage Channeler number 3. Or Force Blue card. Still only 2 card types in the graveyard. Okay, I'm going to put back... I could just start sending threats. I could put back Force Murktide, play Volk, play DRC, attack, and then play Murktide on the next turn and not trying to counter any spells anymore. Or I could keep Force Blue card in my hand. I think I'm going to go for the aggressive line. Not having Mishra's Bauble in the deck really slows down your delirium capabilities. If their hand is just Dreadnought Stifle, I think I blew it. Yeah, I think I should have put back Volcanic Island on top with Dragon's Rage Channel under it, keep the Force Blue card. Because if they just YOLO shove a Dreadnought here, they are going to win the race, even against the Murktide, because Force of Will's my draw after that. Okay, another Channeler. I'm all in. Yeah, not having a sorcery is a tough beat. I could get a creature there, like if they counter my Murktide, but it's not a win-win because I don't have the sorcery. A Tundra, they've unlocked their white mana. Fury. Well, that could draw 12 cards next turn. I guess I'm just summoning this Murktide because this is what I've signed up for. I can exile 5 instants with no problem, though, because I am set on instants. Okay, does it make sense to attack? Putting them to 12 doesn't change the Murktide clock. 8, 9, 10. If they do copy Dreadnought next turn, I don't think attacking makes sense. Well, here we go. I'm actually going to get Curied. Force Blue card would be great to have, but I do not. I only have 11 toughness, so trading here is not an option. And the top of my deck is Force of Will. Guess I lose. Bummer. But I did identify this as a likely outcome after I finished resolving my brainstorm. I got too greedy. These things just never having delirium killed me here. Okay, there's nothing they could do wrong here. All right, yeah, I know my top card's bad, and they just drew 12. Okay, I blew that up. Abrade, Consign, Pyroblast. There is an almost mono blue version of Dreadnought kicking around. It just splashes for the plows, and there's like one Kanema Priest in the sideboard. That might be what we're up against. If so, Pyroblast, one of my greatest weapons. Probably just shaving a bunch of forces here. At least one daze. A lot of targets for Lightning Bolt, considering it's a Dreadnought deck. I could cut a Wasteland. It's because they had so many basics that game. Yeah, I don't think I need this many consigns. Yeah, 2 days, 2 force, 1 Wasteland out for a bunch of other type of interaction. I think that's reasonable. I just got to play better this game. Oof, this is dicey. We know they're a Wasteland deck. I don't have another land or another cantrip. My hand's really good, though. Alright, I will keep. I am soft to exactly Wasteland. And even then, my deck has cards in it. It's not a Wasteland. We did it, team. Can I draw another land immediately? Nope. Attack with DRC. I'm going to play another one. If they're going to Wasteland me, they have to Wasteland me under double DRC pressure. If they play a Tamiyo or a Curie, Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast both deal with those things. A basic land of some variety. Okay, they're passing the turn. I could Lightning Bolt in the upkeep to try to hit a land. But who needs to? Always had it. Misclick through my turn last turn. I certainly didn't keep one lander. Attacking fearlessly into Doorkeeper Thrall. I both don't think they have that card, and I can beat it if they do. I think I should just Pyroblast this dress down. This gives me a bunch of Surveil. Brainstorm to the bin. Ponder to the bin. I'm just binning everything because if I have to fetch to Consign to Memory this turn, I want to at least get the closer to Delirium along the way. Phyrexian Dreadnought. I'll fetch in response. Now they can decide if they want to stifle that. Alright, nope, they do not. Consign to Memory. Can't afford to kick it. DRC to the graveyard. We're delirious. Volcanic Island. I actually will keep that because that lets me cast Brazen Borrower through a daze. Or Murktide through a daze. Either way, I'm pretty happy about it. Yeah, the decision between Pyroblasting the dress down on the stack versus the dress down in response to Dreadnought is like, you deny them a random card and leave them with a Dreadnought stuck in their hand, but maybe they can enable it another way, versus they draw a random card, but you remove Dreadnought. Okay, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leave sorcery in the graveyard. Yeah, I'd rather exile the creature, because if they fight over Murktide, then that helps DRC. I think sorcery is the rarest card type in my deck. Archive. Dump to land. Ponder. And Curie. I can bolt that on my turn. I think I'll do it in my upkeep. that helps my draw the most while playing around Daze. Bolt Curie. Don't want Flooded Strand. Ponder. Love Ponders. Dump a basic island. Delver, Bolt, Misty. Okay. I did not count damage. 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I didn't miss lethal. Playing this pre-combat because if they counter it, that's Delirium. And I have Bolt on top of my deck, which will flip Delver. I have enough mana to Bolt and Petty Theft. So they have to deal with Murktide and deal with DRC and deal with Delver and counter Lightning Bolt. Okay, they couldn't do it. I've still done nothing to indicate that I'm a Dreadnought deck of my own. They haven't seen a Stifle, they haven't seen a Dreadnought. We saw a lot more non-basic lands that game than we did in the first one. Do I want Wasteland in? If so, what am I cutting? I could cut a Stifle and get Wasteland back in. That helps me play around Daze a little more, and the extra consign I brought in means I still have the same number of Dreadnought enablers, but this is a Dreadnought counterer as well as a Dreadnought enabler. Should I just be on 3 consign, 2 Stifle? If consign actually fights their deck, but Stifle mostly doesn't? Yeah, I'll try that. Okay. That feels good. I'll keep my hand. Surprise, opponent. Your deck is my deck too. Island, Ponder. I do have to worry about getting stifled on my fetch land though. Did not shuffle. Cool. Now I don't have to worry about stifle. Not in the same way anyway. I can at least try to dance around a stifle versus a wasteland situation. If they leave up mana for stifle, then they're not adding Curie to the board. I can play that. Dragon's Rage Channeler has appeared. Deploy it. Try to put them in the squeeze box here. I will Spell Pierce and End Step Dress Down, if that's what they've got. Hydroblast. Do I want to Spell Pierce this? I think I do. That's a spot where I can fetch without losing to Stifle. Delver. I'm actually going to bin Delver. That's a creature for Delirium. And it doesn't help me beat a Dreadnought. Ooh, Triumph of St. Catherine. Fun. I'm going to daze it. Let's see if they have the daze back. Spicy technology. Lightning Bolt is not going to help me here. Against a 5/5. Okay, good. Fended it off. That was scary. And now I have Wasteland for this Tundra. And another daze. I'll attack first. Wasteland you. I'm probably supposed to do that in their upkeep in case of Stifle. Yeah, they got me. That's fine. I'm not going to daze this Stifle. Daze looks more useful than that to me. Counterbalance, yuck. Well, I'll brainstorm in response to that. At least get that out of the way. Phyrexian Dreadnought into my graveyard. Surprise opponent. Revealed in the middle of game 3. Alright, Reb, Wasteland, Consign. I will put back Wasteland and Consign. And this stupid card's going to resolve. I have the Red Blast. I'm also applying pressure. That means if I'm ever sure there's not a 1-drop on top, I can just clear the counterbalance. I can also stack spells if I get enough mana to consign to memory countering the counterbalance trigger. And you can muscle that even through a situation where they have 1 on top. Dress down in the end step. Okay. I think I'm going to float a red and daze this. If they reveal for counterbalance, I will know. Okay. Well, Red Blast, they're drawing Wrath of the Skies. That sucks every ass. But I could kill the counterbalance. Yeah, I'll just kill the counterbalance when I know that works. Counter target, or no, destroy target blue permanent. I am more worried about counterbalance than I am about Dress Down. A Wasteland, no longer interested in that. I got my next land drop lined up. Questing Druid, I'm still pretty interested in that. Okay. They're drawing Wrath of the Skies. They have 1 card in their hand. They may have just cycled this Dress Down, or they might actually have the Dreadnought to send, but I have consigned for Dreadnought. They would have needed to draw Daze or Spell Pierce to get Dreadnought through right now. Brainstorm. Okay. I hope I can flush out this Wrath on the Dragon's Rage Channeler, because them wrathing away my Dreadnought would be embarrassment I'll never recover from in my life. Okay, Wrath for 1. Dragon's Rage Channeler is gone. They've got 1 card left in their hand. I've got Dress Down Dreadnought in mine. Questing Druid can reload. Ooh, a miracle just triggered. Do I think Dreadnought can beat this? Because I can consign this miracle trigger, and they just end up with Triumph in their hand, but then they spend 5 mana and just cast it anyway. Yeah, I guess I could Questing Druid in response, and if I flip a Force of Will, that works. If I hit a land, I could dress down Dreadnought all next turn. Yeah, I think I'm going to Seek a Beast. Okay, Daze was their last card in hand. That's annoying, but I can just Dreadnought consign. And they have to beat a Dreadnought now? Okay. Dreadnought consign. Can we flip the script on them? Here we go. The race is on. Ponder, that sucks. They have, I think, all their Swords to Plowshare still in the deck. Did not shuffle Ponder. That's bad. That's so much better than Swords to Plowshares. I think I'm dead now. I need Murktide Regent. That's what I need to do. Okay, Delver of Secrets. I'll play that. Leave up Dress Down mana. I'm out of Dreadnought, so this is kind of awkward because if they have a Dreadnought, I could accidentally turn it on for them if I dress down. I guess the lifelink's not that important here, and I can't dress down in the end step because then Delver won't look. Force of Will revealed. Okay, that's not very good. You had your chance, Force of Will. You're late. Delver will at least keep Tamiyo from attacking, but I am going to die pretty quick to this Triumph. Brazen Borrower is good. Murktide is good. Those are my draws from this point. Dumped a Dreadnought. Triumph coming in. Can't afford to block it. Murktide. Oh my goodness. You're saying there's a chance. Exile 5 instants to this thing. I have Force Blue card in hand. I have the biggest creature now. And I'm actually still not going to attack. I feel like I'm in control mode. And if I attack with Delver, then they can attack with Tamiyo and Triumph next turn, and they get to cheese a clue out because Triumph is a forced block. Another counterbalance. Can't afford to waste removal on that. Okay, we have neutralized each other's boards. This is random, but one is plentiful. Hoping for the best here. Show me a land, show me a land, show me a land. No, a Dreadnought, fuck! Okay. Annoying. But that does mean they're drawing a Dreadnought, which might not be good. Yeah, whoever finds the thing that can crack open this board and start pushing damage is going to be ahead. Well, children, Brainstorm. Blind Brainstorm into the counterbalance. I'm not going to stop casting spells if it's random. Okay. They've blind hit on 2 counterbalances. They were both 1-drops, though. Life is pain. And this means they can counter my next 1-drop by brainstorming and putting Dreadnought on top. This also means they can brainstorm and flip Tamiyo at any point. But I can kill that thing on the backswing. Okay, they're going for this here. Okay, I will block with Murktide. And if I dress down in response to the brainstorm, the Tamiyo will die. But then they get to put... Okay. Murktide can just kill Tamiyo. This is not a huge deal. All right, yeah, them knowing, not even wondering, but knowing that they have a Dreadnought in their hand makes this dress down line not functional. I would have to dress down into a blue card, force the Dreadnought, all of which needs to fade 2 or 5 on top of their deck with counterbalance, with a Brainstorm resolving in between. Okay, plus Tamiyo, playing a Dreadnought. Concerning. Oh, they clearly have the Stifle. So I'll force here and hope they didn't stack a 5 on top. And they can manipulate both the cards they put on top with the clue. If they stacked like a 1 and a 2, they could draw a 1 and hit a 2 or, whatever. Okay. We're in the bad news zone. Okay. I like a Questing Druid, though. I think I'm just going to hit Tamiyo for 2 because I need this Murktide to keep Triumph at bay. And if I tread water against the Tamiyo, we're basically playing the same game we did last game, or last turn, and every turn before that. Okay, they've drawn a card. They still know their top card off Brainstorm. Now they don't know anything, but they have 4 cards in hand. Plus Tamiyo. I am going to fire this Questing Druid. This is what it's here for. A random flip. We've seen Hydroblast in their deck. Brainstorm. So if they have a 2, they can set this up. Or they could dig for Hydroblast. There's a bunch of ways this goes wrong. But Counterbalance plus Brainstorm is a combo for sure. Revealing a Dress Down. Hate that. Okay. Well, there's not a 1 on top of the deck right now. Ponder. They can fetch and random it up if they want. Okay. Dress Down's gone. They're randoming it up. 100% hit rate. Oh my god. Okay. Attack Tamiyo. Keep treading water there. F6. This is the best counterbalance anyone has ever cast. I've resolved 0 cards into it since they resolved it 4 turns ago. Alright, well, they clearly have a Stifle ready to go. We knew that because they played a Dreadnought a couple turns ago that I had to force. Did I force Dreadnought a couple turns ago when I could have forced the Stifle? I think I just fucking yeeted it. Okay. I may have lost some value a few turns ago, but GG's. They got me. Counterbalance. 0 spells resolving through this thing. This is actually just a Ryo Soratami Ascendant. GG's opponent. The trophy dream is dead, but we can still 4-1 this league. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in the final round. Positive records locked, 4-0 record on the line. Shout out to all the yahoos in my comments who say one surveil land is free in decks. I'm still going to keep the hand, even though I would prefer if this was an untapped land. Having Force Blue card is nice, gives me a lot of breathing room. Alright, can't stifle this fetch land. Alright, cool. Have another land ready, though. The frame money was on the table. For what it's worth, though, this Thundering Falls is my 19th land. Most Delver decks can play 18 or 19, and the 19th land is in a spell slot. It is not in... Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Basim Ibn Ishaq. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. Basim can't be blocked this turn, triggers only once each turn. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, put a +1 counter on it. I'm definitely going to daze this thing. Historic spells include artifacts. I guess I'm drawing an untapped red source. Maybe I'm just supposed to bolt that. Okay. Flooded Strand, go. Wow, I was just reading this card, and look at this MTGO feature. You could scroll up, and the art goes away, and scroll down, and the art comes back. I assume that has to be intentional. That wouldn't... I don't know anything about coding, but I don't think this would be a bug. So, really cool treatment, actually. If that is intentional, which I suspect it is. Gives me something to do while my opponent's in the tank. Whee! Basim? No Basim. Basim? No Basim. Okay, they have 4 mana all of a sudden. I hope this is Tezzeret. It's Kaito. I better Force of Will that, huh? Force, pitching, Stifle. They're forcing me back. I will Brainstorm, looking for answers to this challenging situation. Oh, Spell Pierce. Yeah, if I had played my last turn correctly, I'd have more mana in play. That's fine. Whatever. Okay. They have a Kaito. This thing's going to be tough to navigate. I have lost life this turn, but they're still plussing. Don't want to lose their Kaito to a Lightning Bolt. I respect it. I wouldn't either. That shit's embarrassing. They are at 0 cards in hand. Kaito's getting in for 4. I could stifle this Planeswalker ability, but I really want a Questing Druid this turn. Pitched Metallic Rebuke to that Force of Will, by the way. That's a card I want to know that they have. They topped that. Still going to send the Questing Druid. Double Bolt stabilizes this board. DRC land. Okay, I found a creature. I'm going to start pushing back against this Kaito. Oh, God. All right, well. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Land. Fetch. Bolt Kaito. Orcish Bowmaster in response. Thinking. I have 2 card types in the graveyard. One of them's already instant, so I'm going to lose Dragon's Rage Channeler regardless here. I could stifle the Bowmaster trigger instead, and Kaito would be in play for a turn. I don't really want that to happen. Okay, I'll boat Kaito again right now. Brainstorm into the graveyard. I will not be casting that with Bowmaster in play. Misty Rainforest, I don't want that. That is 2 of my precious lightning bolts. I'm looking for Murktide Regent, Delver, Lightning Bolt. I have Questing Druid in the bank, and I have my green mana ready. I need to get some counters on it before that matters. Oh, here's this guy again. He's back. With a historic spell in the bank. Tight. It bobbled me. What am I drawing? Is it Lightning Bolt? Hey, it is Lightning Bolt. Magic's easy. Okay, am I more worried about Basim or about Orcish Bowmaster? Probably Basim. Yeah, I'll just bolt that, get myself a 2-2. I don't want them drawing lots of cards. I feel slightly behind, but it's close. Okay, now I feel slightly ahead now that they dumped out 2 cards. I can Spell Pierce a Kaito or a Tezzeret here. Yeah, Tezzeret, called it from the top rope. Counter that. Shout out to Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas. I love this card so much. I miss when Legacy was about that sort of thing. Okay, they bobbled me again. Is it Murktide Regent? Is it another Questing Druid? I'm just going to keep asking until it's true. I could stifle that draw trigger, but I have hopes for stifle. Just say the words, folks. It's always there. All right, pre-combat, make a 4/4, attack for 4, start to turn this mess around. Get that chump block out of the way. You want to bobble me again? That's basically Vampiric Tutor for me. There's an Ottawara already in play. I can't imagine they play very many of those. Beastorm. I won't be casting that right away. I could stifle Ottawara if they actually have that. That would be so sick. I hope they do have Ottawara in hand, actually. I'm calling it out now. Please have Ottawara. Attack for 12. You gotta do something. This Murktide's lethal next turn. Okay, went to 5. End step sink into stupor. Okay. Yeah, okay. I guess I would have just replayed it if they had done that in combat. Played a land. I like that. They're still in trouble here. Because now Questing Druid's lethal. I will play out this land. Okay, Questing Druid becomes 5/5 when I cast Murktide Regent. They can hardcast Force here, but that's fine, because now my Brainstorm's free. Okay, I will Brainstorm now before they can deploy another Bowmaster over me. So we force a will to end the game. Stifle Wasteland Brazen Borrower. Okay. I'll float Wasteland on top and have this Stifle Brazen Borrower available. 1 draw step to roll them all over there. The One Ring. I can stifle the protection trigger, and they have to draw Fatal Push. Okay, did you rip Fatal Push as a 1-out? Nope. Okay, cool. That was fun. A Braid looks good here. Opponent's deck is awesome. Shout out opponent. This could be a Chalice deck. We didn't see one, but some of the bones were there. Red Blast looks great against everything they're doing. A Braid looks great against everything they're doing. Daze looks pretty mid, especially they know I'm Delver. They could play around it. Consign and Force of Negation and Price of Progress are all maybes. What would I cut? Saw enough Planeswalkers that Stifle's pretty good. Oh yeah, we saw the One Ring on that last turn. I'm more interested in Consign now. I think I'm going to turn 1 Stifle into 1 Consign at least. And then, what else do we have going on here? This also has the bones of being an Urza Saga deck, so Dress Down and Wasteland look good. Alright, I think I'm just going to bring in these 5 cards and leave my deck otherwise intact. I'll keep my hand. It is interactive. Urza Saga. No surprise there. Spell Pierce. I think I'm going to ponder rather than try to consign the Saga trigger. There is a Dress Down somewhere in my deck. Here's a bunch of cards that are good. I will keep the whole stack of them. Mox Opal. That might be reasonable to force. There might be like a super heads up option for that. Oh, we're a Painter Servant deck all of a sudden. I am going to force this Painter. Force Painter pitching Spell Pierce. If they force back, I can counter the Tutor on Grindstone next turn. Either way, they've given up making a construct this turn, which I appreciate. Okay, force pitching back, dumping Metallic Rebuke. Okay. Scary. They named a red. Murktide Regent. There is a Brainstorm on top of my deck right now. I think I'm going to Brainstorm first. I don't need Dragon's Rage Channeler in play right now, and Lightning Bolt is what I was looking for to come up with a different plan than having to counter their thing. Right, Basic Island and Volcanic Island can go back. And I'll fetch for Volcanic Island and bolt this Painter. And I'm just doing this all right now. They don't have Mox Opal on. They don't have mana open. Now they're making a construct. It'll be 3/3 when this thing's done resolving. If they get Lava Spur Boots, they can start applying pressure, but Murktide's bigger than that. And I have that coming down next turn. Tutoring out Lotus Petal. That doesn't feel confident to me. If they shove a 4-mana Planeswalker right now, that's pretty strong. And, oh, Baleful Strix, sure. That's good against the card Murktide Regent. Pithing Needle. Wasteland? Or Scalding Tarn? Okay, Wasteland, yeah. That's reasonable. Stifle. My options here are play Dragon's Rage Channeler or just cast Murktide. I'm just going to cast Murktide. Put something into play that's bigger than the Construct token. I have 3 more Bolts and 3 Pyroblasts that can kill Baleful Strix and a Braid. And then I'm winning the race. Their mana is 2 Ancient Tombs and a Mox Opal. Raven Form, sick. Alright, so this is a bird now. I'd happily trade it for Baleful Strix. And Painter Servant resolved. From Hellbent. Okay. All the cards are red. I am not going to jump block this yet. I can do that anytime. Wasteland doesn't work. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Brainstorm. Keep Lightning Bolt. That'll clear the Strix. Get rid of Wasteland and Consign to Memory. Doesn't work. Every spell has color at this point. And I think I should ponder here off of Tropical Island. If they draw Grindstone, good job, you did it. Dump Volcanic Island. Volk, Ponder, Wasteland. If I take the Ponder, I would draw Volk, cast Ponder, bin Wasteland. Yeah, the Ponder looks good enough. Basically seeing all new cards starting next turn. This turn I will chump with the bird. I need a Dress Down or an Abrade, or another Murktide to get this construct under control. I could also work down all their other artifacts one at a time. A chump block here. Bird token is gone. Take one from the aggressive painter. Orcish Bowmaster, chill! Alright, well, their top deck Jutsu has been unmatched for the last 2 turns. They've been hellbent ever since they activated this construct. Alright, now I have to bolt Bowmaster instead of the things I wanted to bolt. Alright, take that out. Ponder. And this also means I'm looking at Wasteland, which I can't get rid of with DRC again. Shuffle. Delver. Yeah, I'm basically dead here. Ah, the Bowmaster was so good. Bonus at 7 from their Ancient Tombs. Now I kind of hope they do draw Grindstone, because I can stifle the activation, and they'd be at 3 from tapping all their Ancient Tombs, and that gives me Lightning Bolt, or a Braid, or Pyroblast, or Brazen Borrower off the top to actually just kill them by clearing the Baleful Strix. A damage coming in. I'm not blocking anything. Revealing a Braid off the top could still stabilize this game. Tamio, yeah, they just keep drawing spells. Alright, flip revealing a Braid. Force of Will. Alright, I'm dead. Game 3. Now I know they're a Painter Servant deck. That doesn't really change anything. Maybe another Consign comes in, but I'm still don't even think that's true. Price of Progress. That one of Price of Progress is calling to me like the Green Goblin Mask right now. I feel like it could work. I'm going to leave it alone, though, and go in with the same deck. Keep hand rules. Turn 1 Delver, turn 2 Dreadnought. Against an opponent who has not seen any indication that I have Dreadnought. At least I don't think they have. I don't remember. And I'm not going to get cheesed out by an Urza Saga again, because I have all these Wastelands. Saga. Pass to me. Force of Will. I will reveal that. Yes, I Force of Will reveal that. Ha 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 ha. I'm going to skip the Dreadnought and Wasteland them instead, though shoving Dreadnought with Force back up there probably would have won the game too. Yeah, maybe I just cheesed it off. Oh good, I have the opportunity to make this exact same play again. Don't worry, everybody. I think I have to live Moss like Taco Bell right now. Taco Bell, I'm open for sponsorship. It is safe and reasonable to just waste this Urza Saga, but I can also just put them dead on board with Force of Will in my hand. Alright, Saga ticks up to 2. Show me that Ancient Tomb, then concede. Bobble. It's going to be hard to cast a Baleful Strix with the mana that they're showing. I'm not convinced I care if they do, because they would have to chump block Delver, go to 2, because the Dreadnought's still lethal. I don't care about Tamiyo. Bobbling me. Draw your card. I draw my card. Attack for 15. They probably just chump the Delver, take their 12. And I can waste the Underground Sea. That does let them tutor something. But they're at 2. Like, tutoring a... What am I even worried about them tutoring? Like an Aether Spellbomb? Like, whatever. I have other creatures that also kill you. Alright, let's see if I blew it with that Wasteland, but I feel pretty good. They can't tap in Ancient Tomb anymore this game. Lotus Petal. They do have Aether Spellbomb. It does not save them. And they packed it up. Did not collect the trophy bounty, but a 4-1 record, losing only to another Dreadnought deck, the one that we weren't allowed to play, in fact. This was sweet, actually. Anytime I end up playing a deck like this, and I talked in the deck about how I got here, it's not like I was just like, ha ha ha, I'm going to put Delver and Dreadnought together and see how it works. I actually went through an iterative process of what I wanted to do with this deck and then ended up here through the scientific method, and it worked out well. There were some spots where the Dreadnought was in my hand when I wish it was a spell. There were also games where shoving Dreadnought won in a spot where most spells in a Delver deck would not. And there was one match where I boarded the Dreadnoughts out, and I believe it is correct to do that sometimes when you have situational cards like this and you just need to normalize your experience versus something like a combo deck. I don't feel like the Delver shell carried this league in spite of the Dreadnoughts. I do feel like the things work together. The Stifle beating up on the lands while Delver got damage in was part of a real game plan. Consigned to memory counters, real stuff in the metagame. This deck felt actually solid. If you want to add a little spice to your Delver deck, maybe Phyrexian Dreadnought's what you're looking for. Bobby, thanks for the challenge. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.